So having teen girls comes with its whole set of things, right? Have kids, they say. Have girls, they say. Let's talk about it. Okay. So I don't know it all. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 17 years. So I got a few, stories of my own, right? My girls, for the most part, honestly, are pretty manageable, easy to a certain extent. We've had a few, moments. But I find it interesting. Obviously, I'm blessed to have a village of mom friends. So we discuss a lot of things to just like make sure we're not crazy. And you really realize we're all going through the same thing. We all say the same thing. And I think because generationally, most of us were raised in an era like of independence. And I feel like we're kind of doing the opposite to our kids, which I think is good and bad. I think it's good because we're able to nurture them a little longer, be there for them a little bit more hands on. Versus, I feel my mom was an amazing mom, but she didn't have to check on my counselor, help me with classes. Like, I did my own thing, right? Most of my friends in generation did. So I always do this thing. Tell me if I'm the only one. I like to use Google to just see what Google be talking about. Like, what does Google say is how we're supposed to parent, right? Because obviously there's no real handbook. I know there's parenting books, and those are really for like newborns, kind of, in my opinion. But I just thought this list was interesting and could maybe help you or me. Obviously, not tell us how to do it, because if you're already at this stage in the game, cheers to us, okay? We've made it. Sorry, we've made it pretty far. So I don't know if a list is going to help, but sometimes like knowing that we're not alone and that you're on the right trajectory. Okay, so let's go through the list, right? Give kids leeway. Now, we all know many of us do this. That's something I struggle with is I give the leeway expecting the maturity, and they're not quite there yet. So that's number one was on the list. Choose your battles and ignore the eye rolls. Yeah, you would literally be fussing and fighting every day, all day, if you acknowledged every little thing that is done incorrectly or, with attitude. Next, invite their friends over. I love that. I like the control of my kids having gatherings at their house because then I know what's going on. So for me, and I like their friends, and I'm kind of usually the like younger ish mom, not like the young mom, but like, on the younger scale. So, I'm a cool mom. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, decide discipline in advance. So this is where I messed up. So being a single mom for many years, I was doing all of the things. So it has always been a struggle of mine being consistent with discipline. So for me, taking things away has worked, but I've gained a new way of discipline is more like like a consequences and what'll happen, I guess you could say. So that seems to be working, I guess. But that is definitely something I encourage to know what your disciplinary actions are. I love the people and am very what do you call it? Encouraged by moms or dads, or whoever, that like stick to like a consistent one and started it at a young age. Because I do think different phases of life you take, like when they're younger, oh, I'm gonna take your iPad away or whatever, your gaming system. But the older that they get, certain things are just not gonna do it for them. But like maybe hanging out with their friends would, or stuff like that. Check in. Now with teens, conversations, you can't ask too many questions. Okay. If you know, you just can't ask too many questions. So I feel like check-ins come naturally. Like we do them in the morning on a car ride, or like it just has to kind of happen, but you have to do them. And it's not even just about like boys or girls or like in a romantic way, but like they have issues with their friendships, things happen in school, or like just whatever it could be. So like you got to check in. Um, Often I talk about the risk. I do that, so that's good on the list. Risk as in all the things: sexually, drugs. If you don't do well in school, what could happen? You got to talk about the real things. And for those parents that try not to talk about the real things, I'm just saying, stop it. Not judging, but you can't be scared to tell your kids what's really going on out here. Like, and they see it. Like, even if it's not about social media, like they see what's going on in the world. So like hiding them from what, like Drake said, hiding my kid from the world, but my world from the kid. Like, no. You just got to tell them what's going on. Also having a game plan. So, okay, I have a junior in high school. So that's where we're at with her, is trying to help her develop. I'm not saying she has to have it all figured out like I did, but I feel like she needs to have some idea of what she could see after high school looking like, you know, because school is such a small part of your life when you really do the math. So I agree, having a game plan or starting to have them think about a game plan. Another one is keep your door open. I'm pretty open. I feel like my kids feel pretty comfortable coming to me. I know they don't tell me everything. Any parent who thinks that your child tells you everything, is as much as you might have a cool relationship, they don't. But you got to be open, you know, and non-judgmental. So that was the next on the list. Do not judge. So I don't feel like I'm a judgy person in general. So whatever they want to be, whatever they want to do, I'm down. Also, teach them how to use social media. Now, I don't think it meant teach them as in like how to log in and all that. I think they meant like how to utilize it in a way where they're not affected. Because I remember early on with Musical.ly, my daughter, I let her have it and her page was public or whatever, and not really knowing, like thinking about it that much. And, you know, people have made, not against her personally, but like random little comments and like scammy things. So like, I do think it's smart to determine once you have kids, like around what age you're allowing them to be on social media, and explaining like how it all goes down, and comments and ignoring. And I don't know, I do agree. That's a good one. Teaching them how to use social media and the importance of like knowing who you are, and like, yeah, setting boundaries, all of those things. So anyway, so this was Google's list. I don't know if you guys have any lists, but being a mom is not easy. I am not perfect at it by any means. I do my best. I love that I have a supportive village that I can go to. My mom is a great grandma, so that helps a ton. But being a mom to girls in this society is more, and I'm not, obviously I don't have boys, so I can't speak on that, but I do feel like we're given this like responsibility on a whole nother level because of where the world is now. You know, it's hard to explain, and I feel like any moms of girls know what I'm talking about. And it's not just about sexuality, it's just so much stuff like their mental health. It's just a lot, and just trying to raise them to become strong, and not strong in a sense like, but strong as in they understand who they are, they're emotionally intelligent. Like, it's just so many layers of things that I don't feel like our parents, like, which would be boomers or Gen X, whoever, whatever your parents' age difference is. I don't think that they were thinking about those things. You know what I'm saying? Our parents wanted us to go to college, get a job. If you lived in the DMV, a good government job, and that was just what it was. You know, be a good person. I feel like we're thinking about it in a more deep way. And many of us don't want our kids to rush off and try to buy, you know, get a place. I want my children to be able to be home as long as they can. And with the world is the economy, they might be, okay? Anyways, I just want to chat with you guys about parenting, because just on my journey, as I've aged and watched them grow, I've just realized my parenting style has changed some. With us having a blended family, that has changed how I parent. My idea of like, even like the other kids in my family and that I, you know, come in contact with, like, it just is a different relationship. The older that they get, I appreciate it more. Like, I look back on their childhood when they were younger, and I'm like, wow, they really have grown. But anyways, if you got some mom tips, feel free to share them in the comments. Don't forget to what? Subscribe. Thank you for having a sip of coffee with Alicia's Life and Coffee. Like, next video coming soon.